So much fun. That's by Bailala Pronto, and that's by Conjunto Libre, later on Libre, and it's the great Manny Oquendo playing timbales. Now, I grew up in New York City watching this guy play. He was my first major influence in Latin percussion, really. He was a great bongo player as well. I used to go see that band as much as I could, and he was just such a fantastic player, super nice guy as well. I saw him play with Andy Gonzalez, of course, the brother of Jerry Gonzalez. Andy Gonzalez was a great bass player. He played this kind of old Ampeg stick bass, which was very cool back in those days. So anyway, this is a solo from this tune. It literally translates to Dance Soon. And Manny used a low tuning on his timbales. He also used big drums, sometimes big setups. He would have maybe 4 drums, kind of like Tito Puente did the same thing. He would use lots of bells and wood blocks, and also used some different cowbells, which I always checked out. He was originally he's of Puerto Rican descent, and there were a lot of Puerto Ricans playing Latin music, obviously, in New York in those days. They called them New Yorkers. One of the most notable bands was the Fort Apache band, Jerry Gonzalez, and like I said, Andy Gonzalez. So every opportunity to go see these guys play, I did that when I was young. And then later on, I started playing a lot of salsa gigs around town in New York. And we would play a lot of these tunes, and this was one of them, sort of as covers for dance music. And that's what this is. It's dance music, straight up. So there was this club, the Red Parrot in New York, that I used to play at. I think it was around 50th Street, somewhere down there, if I remember correctly. But they had like lasers and enormous club, lots of bands all night, one after the other. So this is the kind of stuff we'd play in there. So this solo is not real fast. The tempo is about half note equals 102. So now the tune starts a little slower, and as is common on a lot of these recordings, it speeds up as it goes along. So by the time, it starts maybe 10 clicks slower. By the time we get to the timbale solo, we are at around quarter note equals 204. You see there I played a little bit of that introduction into the solo. That band, Libre, they used always flute, and it's almost like a flute and timbale duet there, which is really fun. That was one of the trademarks of that group. This is a very basic solo. It's one of the ones that I use with my students to start out teaching with. It's not hard rhythmically. It's not hard physically. The only physical spot that's a little strange is in bar 38, where you have this Manny Oquendo kind of trademark of these way open flams. And he sometimes played with his fingers out like that. So to get that, you have to be really loose. Get that effect. It's almost like a triplet effect. We have these stretch lines again when he's doing this. So make sure you stretch that towards the triplet. So I'm going to play this solo for you again now with the click so you can hear it without the music. So we'll go at quarter note equals 204. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully you can hear a little clearer now without the actual track playing there. Now the tuning he used was very wide, and like I said, he used big drums. So the tuning for this, roughly, is a B on the hembra, the large drum, and a G on the macho. That really helps when you're doing figures with the cymbal. It's almost like a bass drum there. So, you know, now some timbale players use a bass drum. If you ever went to see Pancho Sanchez, the Banda brothers, you know, Ramon would use a kick drum and timbales, another great timbale player. So that's okay to do that. You just got to get it in there and you're playing it while you're standing, so it's a little awkward. So I hope you enjoyed this solo, and we're going to do the rest of these from Manny Oquendo. So stay tuned for those.